Hello, Ben Mankiewicz with you. Thanks for watching TCM as we continue to present Oscar-winning and Oscar-nominated baseball movies, all part of 31 Days of Oscar. Up next, a drama based on the bond, the brotherhood that ball players form with one another. From Paramount in 1973, directed by John D. Hancock, Bang the Drum Slowly. The story is set inside the clubhouse of a fictional major league team, the New York Mammoths, focusing on an unusual friendship between a marginally talented, unsophisticated catcher and the team's remarkably intelligent star pitcher. It's based on the 1956 novel of the same name by Mark Harris, one of 4 books Harris wrote about a pitcher named Henry Arthur Wiggin, the pitcher in the movie. Harris named his fictional team the Mammoths because he based them on a real team that he'd rooted for all his life, the New York Giants. But by the time the movie came out in 1973, the Giants were in San Francisco. The club in the film is clearly inspired by the New York Yankees. Harris adapted his novel into this screenplay, though the story had actually been performed on screen 17 years earlier. In 1956, Bang the Drum Slowly premiered on a live TV anthology series starring Paul Newman. Then, after the success of the made-for-TV football movie Brian Song in 1971 about the close friendship between 2 football players, producers thought it was the right time to bring Bang the Drum Slowly to the big screen. Michael Moriarty stars as Arthur 17 years before he began his Emmy-nominated run as a Manhattan prosecutor, Ben Stone, on Law & Order. The catcher is played by one of the screen's all-time greats, Robert De Niro. Same year, De Niro played Johnny Boy in Martin Scorsese's gritty classic Mean Streets. At first glance, this is an atypical De Niro performance. He's not a monster here, not a tough guy, not crazy. He's nobody's intimidating dad. De Niro's character is soft-spoken and quite impressionable. Through another prism, though, it's an entirely typical Robert De Niro performance because he imbues this character, like so many of his others, with this remarkable core of humanity. The wonderful character actor Vincent Gardenia plays the team's manager, earning the first of his 2 Academy Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor. His second came 14 years later, playing Cher's father in the comedy Moonstruck. From 1973, also with Ann Wedgeworth, this is Bang the Drum Slowly. I don't know if Bang the Drum Slowly was the first movie that made me cry. I'd be willing to say it was one of the first 4 or 5, though. Since then, though, I've only cried about 700 or 800 times at movies. All the major league teams in Bang the Drum Slowly were fictional, but there's no way this film could have been made without the cooperation of Major League Baseball. Location shooting took place at both Shea and Yankee stadiums in New York, and clearly the Yankees signed off on the New York Mammoths wearing their famous pinstripe uniforms. Robert De Niro did his part to make the film as authentic as possible. Reportedly, De Niro trained hard to look believable as a major league catcher, heading to spring training to work on his baseball skills with the Cincinnati Reds. He also trained with former New York Giants pitcher Del Bethel. The New York native also spent some time in Georgia so he could work on his Southern accent. But to baseball fans, one of the best parts of De Niro's performance was his ability to capture the heart and soul of a backup catcher, a fringe player, one of those guys who has to work his butt off just to stay up with the big club and still wakes up every morning knowing it could be his last day in the majors. Coming up, our night of Oscar-winning and nominated baseball films continues with the story of an actual New York Yankee, Lou Gehrig. Pride of the Yankees is next on Turner Classic Movies.
Next on TCM, The Pride of the Yankees, then The Stratton Story, and later, The Great Dictator. Oscar lives life in the fascist lane tonight.